Okay, we're back, and this is a podcast episode. Of course it is. It's also a consultation check-in with Kelsey Sharp. And if you have been following along with the last call that we did, then you'll know that there was a bit of gym hesitation. Just for reference, Kelsey, that call was posted 3 days ago, and it has 8 listens. So if you
Very
haven't
nice.
listened to it, go back and go to listen how to overcome gym hesitation and then come back to this one. Um, I'm surprised it's that low because normally the ones that I post with you, I showed you, like they're pretty popular. The one got up to like 17 and another ones are like at 10, 12, 14. So I think it'll just be a couple days of for people to listen to it. I don't know if you always send them to people or not, but yours tend to be popular.
Yeah, nice. Sometimes I do. This one I haven't yet, but I will after this once there's like at least 2 to follow up with.
Fair. Now, from a standpoint of, I know you like the idea of organization. This is just going to get posted, so it might be 2 or 3 or 4 episodes. It kind of is a good way for me to check in with myself too, because I'm trying to stay more consistent with podcasting. Again, life gets busy. So if I have you on the show, and then I don't have any episode, and then I have you on the show again, it's a good reminder, oh, I probably need to add 1 or 2 episodes in. So it keeps me accountable too. And worst case scenario, I look at it as well, even if I just have this call and then I only do one other thing, that's still 2 in a week, which is not bad. Like that's a good bare minimum, I think, for someone like me right now. I would love to be 3 or 4. When I was traveling, I was doing almost every day, and I'd record like 2 or 3 in a day sometimes and take a day off, but I would just schedule them so far in advance. Sometimes, I think at one point I had like 10 scheduled out in advance before I even, um, but I would put some of them like way further into the advance to have like, anyway. So at some point we can
Mhm.
organize it a bit more if you want. Again, as a producer, you're more than welcome to interject with anything like that.
Perfect. Summertime's perfect for that. We will do that soon.
Cool, cool. How did the past week go? It would I know the episode only got dropped 3 days ago. This one's probably gonna get dropped. Funny enough, I'm planning on dropping it on Thursday, so you have something to listen to with your friend in the car.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see if
So
I can talk her into it.
yeah. So it will obviously get dropped a little bit further, but it was about a 10-day because we would have recorded on a Friday. This is a Monday. It's 9 days since last time we recorded.
We
Or maybe we
recorded
did
on
it on
Sunday.
Saturday.
Yeah. Sunday.
Sunday? Okay, so it's been 8
Yeah.
days. I
Uh-huh.
don't every day's the same. So it's been 8 days, and what has your habits look like getting to the gym?
Definitely an improvement from what I was doing before. So we went to the gym together on Sunday. I went by myself on Monday, uh, took a couple days. No, and then I went on Tuesday. I just didn't do a full workout. So what we were talking about in the last podcast, the goal of trying to get there every day. And then Wednesday being the holiday, I didn't make it back from my aunt's house until 20 minutes before the gym closed. And I'm not at a position where I'm going to go into the gym 20 minutes before they close. That just feels like too much of a rush and too much pressure there. I knew I wasn't going to get what I wanted to done. So I just did some mobility drills at home instead. But then I was back at the gym on Thursday and Friday. And then the weekend, and this is where I don't love that I'm falling to that habit. It was just busier than I had expected it to be, and I didn't make it to the gym over the weekend. But out of the program that we built, I did 2 cycles. So I did it twice. And then on Friday, you had invited me out to the gym and we did a different workout because I didn't want to do the same thing 2 days in a row. Um, and so that was really nice. And honestly, on Saturday, I felt so much better knowing that I had done a full body rather than just. I know that the program that we made is kind of full body anyway, but it just didn't feel like it. But then after Friday, I felt really good having focused on my arms rather than my legs.
I'm gonna pull up our sheet here actually, and
Hmm.
then You can take a look at it. I want to just so I can explain to the audience what we did here. So, cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3. It's a misconception that you need to have a whole week's worth of plan. You can call them cycles. For someone like Kelsey, and we didn't have this ready before last call, so it's kind of cool to show it now. The cycle and a week are the same thing. This is just a fun fact. Bodybuilders sometimes follow 8-day cycles. So think of day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the following Monday, if you start on a Monday, is day 8. Then their day 1 starts on Tuesday, and then they go through it again, and then it would start on Wednesday. Sometimes it's up to 14 days. And
Wow.
that's just their programming. So now if you were to think about Sarah's work schedule or your dad's work schedule, it's kind of like 4 days on, 5 days off, 4 days on, 5 days off. That's a cycle. And it's just arbitrary that we have a week. A week is a week because it's easy for people to think about, but especially for beginners or people who have funny schedules, if you think of them as cycles, right now it's when you're done the cycle. So we're going to probably run it back one more time so you can see here this is cycle 3. That would probably be a really good goal to do today.
Hmm.
Then we transition until there's a day 1, day 2. But that still might look like Monday, Tuesday is cycle 1 of that. Thursday, Friday is cycle 2. And then the following week, cycle 3, cycle 4. Who cares if you get an extra one in the week? And then that way, in case, for example, this upcoming week, you're probably not going to be at the gym Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the goal of getting the cycle 3 in, great. And then here's a coaching call. I know what you're gonna do because we are friends and we're going up with friends to a cottage. Would you rather just do this on Monday and then this on Wednesday again, probably, and then worry about a new program when you're back from the cottage?
Great question. And I think if we had not done a different workout on Friday, I would have said yes to that. But I think I would like to make just a small change in here to do a couple of the things that we did on Wednesday.
So for cycle 3 here,
I
I
mean,
can
on Friday.
easily I could easily make that change and it would be a longer workout. You would be okay with that.
Yeah, especially because I know I'm not going to get to the gym for 4 days out of this next week.
What do you think you're gonna get this next week?
My goal would be to do 2 cycles this week, but also get to the gym tomorrow just for something.
So you want the same workout twice this week or something different today and later this week?
I think the same workout twice this week. So you editing the sheet there, I like this because then that's what I will do today
Yep.
and on Wednesday.
Yep. So bench press you liked.
Yep.
I would call
Yes.
that a slight incline because you weren't flat. I think you were on about a 30-degree,
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
30-degree bench press. I can't spell, but spelling doesn't count anyway. Um, and then I'm okay with just giving you biceps, which you liked, and then the tricep. So you're doing a little bit of a longer workout. So remember the bicep exercise and the tricep exercise?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
it, yep,
Can
bicep
um can we just
curls.
switch the bicep to I don't like the bar.
Do you want a
Can
lighter
I
bar?
still do
Dumbbell.
no, with dumbbells, especially if doing this program I'm already going to be grabbing 10s or 15s to be doing squats and the RDLs, then I would rather just hang on to the dumbbells to do that.
Okay, so
Um,
here's another thing just to show you from a volume standpoint. It's only going to be 2 sets of biceps and triceps because it's a decent amount for you in the workout. And then for here, we'll keep it at 6. You got to keep in mind, I don't remember what you did. You probably did closer to 10 reps with 15.
you're talking about the stuff that we did on Friday?
Yeah, bicep curls.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me
Sorry,
to
not,
do.
not bicep curls, bench press. I think you did 15 pounds.
Yeah, I think so. And then yeah, you made me do 10.
So I'll put 6
No,
to
I
8
think you grabbed 10s. I think
tens.
they were
Okay.
10s and I did them for 10.
So I would rather you do 6 to 8 because, like you said, you're already gonna hold a weight at your chest. You're already gonna be doing RDLs and the rows. Even though those might not directly affect the chest a ton, it is an energy demand, and you have to think of it as total volume in the workout. With the biceps and the triceps, it was 3 sets. Bringing that down to 2 also is a good way of lowering total volume. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now those ones typically they're really easy to recover from anyway. But I'm also thinking about time spent in the gym. I could even make it 2 sets of the cable row, but I think 3 is fine. But instead of doing 7 reps, which is what I've had written in, I'm gonna bring it down to 6, and same thing with the deadlift. So it's just less, but it's spread out more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think
So
that
those
sounds
are
good.
those are nuanced changes. If you were just doing this on your own, it's not going to be the end of the world if you're going a little bit more, a little bit less. I think with you, it's a little bit less. I'm going to just keep it into cycle 3. And then you know that you just have to do a copy and paste into cycle 4. So basically, we'll call it 3 and 4. I know says week 1. So now what this would look like is we're going to call it program 2, and that will be post cottage. So then I go post cottage, and then we can even write it up at the cottage if we wanted, or we can go over that in more detail. But then I can take a workout like this and then have it as a day 1, and then a completely different workout as a day 2. And I think that's the next progression for someone like you, but you can already see a bit of progression and just like building on math equations, you add a little layer, add a little layer. Hey, I can handle this. Hey, I can do this. I want more. I know I can do more. I know I can handle more. So yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. And keeping everything else super simple. These are things that you're comfortable with, which is important.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think people overcomplicate workout programs. And I actually like the example of how you even said, yes, this is perfect when we did day 1, cycle 1, because of how simple it looks.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'll stop sharing there. So that would
And
be
really,
sort
I
of
sorry, I really I did feel great by the end of the week. So it was nice and to be able to keep it simple, but then now wanting to make some changes
yeah.
is like what
And
I was hoping for in the first place.
people are always in a rush and they're trying to throw the kitchen sink. I wanted you to prove to yourself that you could go to the gym for a whole week, whether it's twice, 3 times. And yeah, I can handle these weights. And it's all relative, right? So now, yeah, I feel good. I can add a little bit more. And that's also where part of the coaching is, hey, this week is going to be funny. You have cottage for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're back Sunday. And this is good for before. And then we know something after. Here's the next question. What did you ask me to do to bring up for the during at the cottage?
I asked you to bring some of your equipment so we could do a few workouts while we're up there. Nothing crazy. I don't want a full 45-minute long thing, but at least some kettlebells, maybe some bands, something to get more movement so I don't lose that drive either, especially because we know it's going to be the cottage where we're probably not eating the best and having a bit more sugary drinks than I do on a regular basis.
My lightest kettlebell that I keep in the car is about 26 pounds.
Hmm.
I can bring a lighter dumbbell or 2 as well from my mom's house. I'll be probably going over there at some point this week, and I think the lightest kettlebell they have is actually probably about the same, maybe 22 pounds. So,
Hmm.
or I can bring a 10 pound. I can bring a 10 pound dumbbell. Um,
Whatever you
yeah.
bring, we will make it work, right? We'll find something that I can do with it.
And body weight is also fine for some of the stuff anyway. Like if I asked you to do as many body weight squats as you could do or lunges, you'd probably get sore um, within a couple minutes anyway. So I totally get it. And I'll make sure a couple of those things are up. And I think that's cool. Uh, just so the audience knows, there was a joke. We have a mutual friend named Robert, and he likes to drink a lot of beer. And Kelsey's on. I was joking that Kelsey's on this health kick, but you are now, right? We'll call it a health kick. and that we should do a sober cottage weekend. And I didn't share this with you, Kelsey, but Rob was texting me a decent amount, like, "Hey, listen, like if we're doing sober cottage, like me and Lauren, we're not going."
That's funny.
Yeah, because at first he didn't believe it, and then I just kept going, and then I even sent him a link to um mocktail recipes. I was like, "Listen, like I want you to try one. Which one would you try?" And then he replies with like 12. And he's like, You're not that serious, right? Like you're not get drinking?" So, I just thought it was fun. Of course, I'm gonna have some beers. I just don't wanna get absolutely to the point where I feel like ass and I can't enjoy cottage. We're getting old.
Yeah, yeah. You know what though? That I almost have a little bit more respect for him. The fact that he didn't come to me and be like, "What the heck are you doing? Why are you thinking this?" Instead, he was trying to check if it was a joke first, right? Because if I actually was on a health kick, that would not be a very friendly thing to do, to bash somebody who wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he just went sideways, but maybe now he'll find out that it was a joke.
I I just think it was funny to mess with him a little bit, but there will definitely be some food that isn't the healthiest and, uh, alcohol that will be drank that's never healthy to begin with. So my strategy, I'm gonna have a couple kombuchas. They're mine, but I always bring those anyway. Um, I always have good intentions to eat some fruits and or vegetables, but honestly, that almost happens seldomly. I don't know why. Just the chips are so much more appetizing. But we can keep each other accountable. Like, hey, did you eat enough veggies first? Just even if
Yeah,
I don't even need to ask you that, you can just ask me that because I'm the one that eats all the chips anyway. Um,
I think I
and
always put a veggie tray on the list, and everyone else goes, "We're not going to eat them anyway." But if I'm doing groceries this year, then I will buy a veggie tray, and we will get through it.
we will. And then usually it's not the protein that's the problem because there's lots of burgers and hot dogs. It's like the greasiness that's associated with it.
Hmm.
That's what I would say. And then your just stomach isn't perfect anyway. So yeah, I just don't want to feel like trash after the cottage weekend, but I do want to enjoy the festivities of fresh air, sunshine, friends, relaxing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we'll get a little bit of a lift mobility, something in just on the dock. Cool?
That sounds great.
Perfect. Anything else, or are we good? It's a
I
call.
think we're okay. It sounds like we
Okay.
have a good plan for the week, and then I like that you went through kind of what the plan would be for a cottage weekend, because again, if we're thinking about the audience following along to something like this, if they knew that they had a cottage weekend coming up, they're not going with you. So it's a little bit harder to know what you'll get done. But you
Simple.
went through options, right? Body weight squats, lunges, bring any sort of little dumbbell you have. And like we might still do some of those exercises that I'm doing at the gym this week anyway. But it just gives like me more peace of mind that if all of a sudden you couldn't come to the cottage, I still have an option, even if I didn't have the weights to go with me.
I would say it's exercise snacks, so less about sure, we can do like a 10-minute quick little thing at the start of the morning, but then throughout the day, just pick up the dumbbell or kettlebell and do 10 squats, do 10 rows, do 10 shoulder presses, 10 lunges, 10 RDLs, whatever. Do like a set of 10 and then just put it down, go do something else. And then when you see it, eh, I can do it, right? And you can just do that throughout the day and start the day off with 10 minutes of mobility or mobility and strength. And then the goal is just to facilitate some movement. That's how it would probably look. We're going to get there late Thursday. I'm already going to have my workout in Thursday. So it's a Friday thing, a Saturday thing, and then maybe Sunday morning, something quick, just because we're going to be in the car all day Saturday driving back. So you probably want a little bit of movement, open up the hips, feel like you're moving your body a little bit. Electrolytes will be another thing for the cottage that I want to emphasize that I'm going to go get and bring. They're for me. I'm not gonna not share, but uh, you're actually get a case of Gatorades. That would be
Mm,
the yeah.
hmm.
And then everyone can share it. So
Yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing would be yeah, having the plan for the week that, and then we don't have a plan for when we're back, but we can make it at the cottage, and then we'll show the audience with, again, sharing the screen of, "Hey, this is the plan that we came up with. This is 2 per, uh, cycle, and this is how it's gonna naturally evolve." And we progress more and more and more, but I'm happy, and I'm gonna go work with my client, and then I can probably meet you at the gym. I would say, like, 11 to 11:30. I'll text you when I, um,
Now,
am
would you never mind. Yeah, that sounds good. Just
yeah.
don't hang up right after this call because I have another question.
Okay, okay. Well, audience doesn't need to hear that question then, clearly, so
Probably not.
we'll let them go, and, we'll talk to the audience later. Bye,
Yep.
Sarah, as you're listening to
Thank you. Bye.